Loud and Quiet presents Midnight Chats.
My guest this time on Midnight Chats is Loyle Carner, and he has a handful of great loves in his life that he likes to talk about. Number one is family. Anybody who's heard the rapper's very personal debut album, Yesterday's Gone, will know that. Or perhaps you've been to one of his gigs where he shouted at his brother or his close friends. He brought out his mum on stage during his Glastonbury performance, about 10 days after we recorded this chat that you're about to hear. So that's hugely important to him. Number two is football. He's a massive Liverpool fan and follower of the England international team, and on stage he carries an Eric Cantona shirt that was his stepfather's, and that's in tribute to him, and so that his stepfather, who sadly passed away, can travel the world along with him. Number three is music, of course, from Nas to Biggie to Mos Def and Jay-Z through to UK stuff like Jest and Roots Maneuver. He's obviously a massive music fan. Number four is food, and more specifically cooking. In fact, the night before we recorded this, he was up till 1 a.m. at home in South London trying to perfect his recipe for making Portuguese custard tarts. And it was timely because right now, as this podcast comes out and as I record this introduction, all this week he's been running a cookery school in North London for young adults with ADHD. And he described it as his way of giving something back after he found being in the kitchen, cooking, as a helpful way of managing his own ADHD when he was growing up. And it inspired him to start this project that he ran for the first time last year and is running again this summer. And it was really inspiring hearing about the programme and his plans for it. He's obviously very, very passionate. If you do want to get some more information about that and what's happening and what they're doing, then visit gomacollective.com, G-O-M-A collective.com, if you want to support it and see some more information about that. And as always, if you like what you hear with us on Midnight Chats, maybe this is the first time you're listening, you can subscribe, review, rate us wherever you're listening to us, whatever platform you're on. And if you've got a friend who likes podcasts, tell them about it. Or if you've got friends who's never listened to one before, even better still, let them know about Midnight Chats. And within the sort of 30 episodes that we've made of this podcast series that we started last year, I don't think I've ever plugged the magazine that we make every month, which is Loud and Quiet, but we have a new issue out this weekend, July the 1st. It's in record stores, bars, venues, coffee shops, etc. all around the UK. Kali Uchis is on the cover. Please do go and check it out. There's loads of really, really good stuff inside. If you want to find out where you can find it, it's loudandquiet.com/magazines. But let's get down to Loyle Carner. As I said, this was recorded a couple of weeks ago in our office in East London. He'd just come back from playing a couple of huge festival shows, and then he said that he had to go to IKEA with his mum. But he was planning the menu at the cookery school at the time, as well as his Glastonbury set list, which I also urge you to go and check out. It was an amazing show. And it was about 5 days after the general election had happened, and that comes up as a topic in the conversation as well. But it was an absolute pleasure having Loyle Carner on. I really enjoyed meeting him. So this is the latest episode of Midnight Chats, episode 30, with Loyle Carner. Loyle Carner, welcome to Midnight Chats. We've been wanting to have you on for a while, so thanks for making the time to speak to us.
Not at all, man. Thanks for having me.
How have you been?
Yeah, good. Knackered, but good. Busy.
Yeah. We kind of caught you in like what must be a rare moment of sort of not downtime, but like in the sort of days that you must have in between basically playing every single festival.
Yeah, it's mad. I mean, kind of my in-between days have become just as busy as my days on. Kind of like my days off are just other days on at the moment. But yeah, no, it's nice to have some time. At least I'm home, because I've been away for a lot. I was in Australia for a bit, and then I was in America, and then I went back to America. So it's nice at least to be busy in the day and then come back to a base where my family's around and I can talk to them, relax with them, have a hug from them,
With that downtime, what kind of things do you fill your time with? Is it catching up with people? Is it, still doing things like this, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of. I guess I've got this cooking school for kids with ADHD, and so at the moment that's like my main focus. Other than this, so I've got actually what I've been doing the last couple of days has been running, because I teach the classes. I've been running the same recipes over and over again.
Okay.
So last night I was cooking, making Portuguese custard tarts.
Okay. Nice.
Until like 1 a.m. Yeah, so it's downtime, but it's not really. That's how I like it though, man. I just like to be busy. But yeah, I mean, other than that, yeah, just going out, just going for dinner, seeing my friends, cooking dinner with my friends, watching the football. Yeah, anything I can do that's not like sweat related.
With the cooking school, you ran the first program like pretty much a year ago, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, around this time last year. Yeah.
How was the first experience?
Yeah, it was amazing, man. I mean, so I grew up with ADHD myself, and you know, one thing I never really had was anyone to talk to that was older who'd been through it. Not so much, you know, made a success of themselves, but it just survived it and got to the point of being, like a young adult. But yeah, I mean, before the school happened, I was preaching it a lot because we were trying to build a bit of a buzz for it. And I was saying, look, ADHD is a beautiful thing. It just needs the right thing to bring this beauty out. And I wasn't sure if it was actually going to be the case, or if if that was just my experience. But yeah, I think honestly, I do think it was probably the best week of my life. And something I was doing it kind of thinking I could stop everything and just do this every day for the rest of my life, because it's beautiful, man. I mean, some of the kids were caught up in some real bad shit outside of school or inside of school, but all of them came to the classes and were just a joy to be with and a joy to be around. And yeah, it was special.
What kind of things did you make on that first day you did it?
We made chicken ramen, decent chicken ramen, some salmon en croûte, beef Wellington, some homemade pasta and pesto. Actually, it's a funny story about the pasta and the pesto. I'm allergic to nuts, and there was one kid in the class who was allergic to nuts as well. And I was like, okay, me and you will stick together. We'll make like a nut-free pesto. It'll be boring, but it'll be all right. And so we made it, and I kind of went around, and someone had swapped the pestle and mortars around, and I ended up dipping my finger in another one and trying it. And the guardian went outside the kitchen waiting to interview me for the piece for the school. And I was trying to make it look professional because I got no experience, whatever. And I tried to come out, and I came out dripping with sweat, like kind of half passing out, and knew that I was in trouble. And kind of staggered my way through the interview for about 20 minutes. And when I've got to go upstairs, I've got to go to the toilet. Ran upstairs and kind of got to halfway up the stairs, and then just passed out. And then woke up and then went back and went into the toilet, and then just properly passed flat out and was out for like 20 minutes. And then one of my managers came and knocked on the door and was like, "You're right." I was like, "Oh fuck, yeah, shit, yeah, let's get back downstairs. I've got to go to this interview." And the guy had gone, and then we just kept teaching the class.
Shoot, so that was because of the allergic reaction to the accident.
Yeah, to the nuts, to the pine nuts.
Has that happened to you before?
Yeah, I mean, it's happened. No, it hasn't happened since. It's something rare. I don't really, because I'm pretty good at not eating nuts. But yeah, it was ridiculous, man. It was awful.
And you're like, I just want today to go smoothly.
It was just like, yeah. It's bound to happen though, man. To be fair, the only person who injured themselves at the cooking school was me. I had that happen to me, and I chopped the top of my index finger off. But other than that, it ran
the
very.
The kitchen is a dangerous place.
It ran very smoothly. Yeah, I learnt my lesson.
What are the young people like that you met through doing that? How did they kind of respond to it by the end? Because it lasted for a week.
Yeah.
And so, what change did you see in them from basically getting together on a Monday or whatever it was, and then cooking a feast?
Yeah, for the family. Friday. Yeah, it was for it was amazing. They were amazing. There was something about it that they kind of came in there a bit wary, but honestly, within after the first day, they were all so open, and I think that openness just continued to grow. But there was a kind of a playfulness that was there, but it wasn't disrespectful or troublesome. I mean, it was they were becoming more and more curious, and I think that's what I think has grown as they've gone off. Some of them have looked to go to work in kitchens and whatnot. One of them's just done something that I can't mention because it's like super sick but super top secrets at the moment. But he's got just been part of something brilliant. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it was just also, I guess they kind of saw this openness for conversation and being a bit more open with how they feel and what was upsetting them and what was making them happy and what was getting them down, and how they were going to pull through it. And I think that was what was the more important thing. Is I guess the food became like a pathway to open conversation.
Yeah, like a binding.
Yeah, exactly. So it was, as much as the food was the importance at first, it then became, it was actually what it brought out that was more important. Because they still message me now, and they all kind of chat to me in a way that's like a friend, but also in a way where they're not embarrassed. Yeah, I think that's what they gained.
Was cooking the kind of like primary thing that helped you cope with having ADHD?
Yeah,
was that the biggest thing that you kind of discovered that helped you through that period?
Yeah, massively. I think was weird. It was that and writing rhymes, kind of however I was doing it, if it was on beat or just a cappella or poems or whatever. But yeah, for food it was just, I don't know, there's so much going on when you're cooking and you don't have time to worry about anything else, so your brain can be full of all these other things. But as soon as you start cooking, your brain is only full of what's going on. So there's something on fire here, there's something in the oven there that's about to burn. You got these two things that you haven't thought of doing yet. You've got to chop these things up, and it's all that stuff that I was watching this documentary. There's a series called Chef's Table on Netflix. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like I think it's the best thing I've watched. I've almost watched all of them. But there's a Korean monk, this woman who claims that, and I believe her, that cooking is the closest form of the closest thing you can get to meditation if in a busy life. I don't have the time or the patience or the energy for meditation, but I do understand what she means, because it's this kind of pure feeling of just complete, I don't know, like mindfulness. I mean, you're not thinking about anything, but you're thinking about everything at the same time. It's brilliant. I can't quite explain it, but it's always been very important to me.
What does the kitchen look like once you've been in there and done your thing? Because when I'm cooking, I seem to basically use every single utensil in the kitchen. So by the end of whatever meal that I'm preparing, the washing up pile just looks horrendous.
That's a fucking mess. That's what it is. It's like a Tasmanian devil has hit my kitchen.
Yeah. Are you the same?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm like, always. But I think it's good like that, man. I mean, I've got a good deal going with my mum, that if I cook, she'll hook it up afterwards. So we've got like a little team going on. Good. But no, yeah, I mean, I've learned I'm a bit better at cleaning as I go. But no, I guess I think that's the fun of it, though. If you're cooking and you're tidying up, that's not fun. I mean, you want to just make a mess. That's part of the fun. It's just being able to make a mess and be able to justify it with some good food.
Is there anything that you haven't managed to perfect just yet? Because there are things like a roast dinner, for example. Mm-hmm. It can take forever to get it to the perfection that you want it.
You know, my roast is actually alright. My roast potatoes, I'll go as far as to say, are maybe the best in South London.
Okay, the best in the post.
Yeah, but maybe the best in like South East, I'd say.
What is the key with a roast potato? Is it like a goose fat? Like, that's always. Do
you know what? No, I mean it is. So my family, my mum and my little brother are vegetarian loosely, and so I can't get away with goose fat. So I've had to be a bit. Yeah,
you have to get around that one.
Yeah, intuitive with it, but no. What it really is, I can let you know. It's not my secret. It's like a Jamie Oliver secret. But you parboil the potatoes. You boil them up before you roast them, obviously. But when they're cooked, when they're boiled in the pan, you put the lid on the pot and shake them until they get kind of like fluffy on the outside, and it's that fluffiness that gets the crispness on the outside, and on the inside they're still tender and sweet.
Crisp on the outside, fluffy.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolute winner.
Tell me about it. But yeah, no. What kind of? I really struggle with anything that requires like precision or like your technique. I'm kind of just better at just throwing things at a pan and something comes out of it. Like baking is something I can't do,
right? Because
it's just too precise. So that's something I'm trying to get better at. Yeah.
So we're going to see you on Great British
Bake
Off.
No, you won't. You definitely won't. I was watching it the other day. I watched it last night actually, late, just thinking how is it possible to? Because these people don't even have anything that they're measuring with. And I was like, how is it possible to know, to gauge a little bit of this, a little bit of salt, a little bit of yeast? Yeah. It's not possible, man.
I'm quite looking forward to seeing the new series with Noel Fielding on, actually.
Yeah. I'm interested in it, man. I'm gonna miss Mary Berry because she was my rock, but we'll see how it goes.
She's like Britain's rock, isn't she?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she reminds me of my nan, man. I do. Yeah, I love her.
She's a true legend.
Yeah.
When you're out on tour,
mm-hmm.
like tour life is very different from home life in the sense that you're never really going to get the chance to get into the kitchen and prepare food for yourself. So, do you ever get any decent grub when you're out on the road?
I try my best, man. Yeah, it's a shame. Being on the road is really all I really get is fat. That's kind of what happens when I go away. It's the same vicious cycle. Like I go away, I eat kind of badly, come back, go, oh fuck, I'm looking a bit big, and then spend the next 3 weeks like freaking out trying to cook some healthy stuff, and then the same thing happens again. But no, we're doing better at it now because we've just been hooked. We're doing well enough now to have a tour bus, so it means that because before we were driving in a splitter van, which is like just a little van that you just drive from country to country, city to city. But it means that after each show, you're driving X amount, getting in a hotel, waking up, and then driving the rest of the journey. So you don't get that much time in the city. But now because we're traveling overnight, when we wake up, we can be in the city for a bit longer, so you can go out and get lunch. And it means you just have a bit more time to get your bearings and find somewhere that's worth it. But in Europe, we eat well.
By all accounts, like kind of European promoters and people like that, they're always very kind of attentive and sort of give you the look after the artist.
Yeah, completely. It's funny because they're still kind of cutting costs because they're making it themselves, but there's just a lot more care that goes into it, I think. But yeah, when we can eat, okay, we do. At festival season, we do all right. when we're not in the festival site, obviously. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. We've got like a tiny little. When we got the tour bus, we got a few bits. I bought a few bits for it, like just like a toasty maker, like a little Breville and stuff. So there's like little things we can cook up. I was thinking about getting a portable like oven gas cooker for Glastonbury, but my mum was telling me it's not a good idea. But I think it is. I'm just worried I'll set fire to the campsite.
Health and safety.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So with the programme that you're about to run again, with all these kind of young adults making different things for a week, what's on the menu this time? You mentioned that you've been trying to perfect the Portuguese custard tart.
Yeah.
What else is lined up?
So that's the thing, is I'm trying to figure out at the moment. I've literally only just got back from festivals and from touring, so this is my week to figure out. So far I got the Portuguese natas, which is like the custard tarts. It's a mustard chicken. Hopefully, like another form of because we made homemade pasta last time, so I'd love to be able to do that again, but better this time. And there's a guy who I'm a big fan of, a guy called Ivan Orkin.
Okay.
And I was just with my manager. We were in New York. We went to his restaurant and we bumped into him. And he was there. And he's like a proper hero of mine. And he's the first hero of mine I think I've ever met. Actually, yeah. And honestly, I got a bit upset in a positive way. But yeah, I got quite emotional and chatted to him and gave me his book. And I've been reading it non-stop. And there's the whole book is basically about how to create a ramen. And we did it last year, but I think this year now I've got a deeper understanding of it. I might try and do it again, try and better the last year's one. But it's a long thing, so we'll be in there from like 9 o'clock till like 9 o'clock if we're going to do it like that. Yeah. But I reckon I can do it.
That sounds good. The product of which at the end of the week is that you kind of like all cook for your families. Is that how it works?
Yeah, so we did. Actually, this year we are going to do it. So we're linking up with a chicken shop, a healthy chicken shop called Chicken Town, which is in Tottenham. And they've got they're just like a wicked little group of guys who have got this chicken shop, and it's basically for kids. It was set up for kids after school who were going to buy chicken and chips, but were buying a horrible, irresponsibly sourced chicken and chips that's deep fried with no kind of love and care and attention.
Leaking out of the cardboard box stuff.
Exactly. So the whole thing was just they've got a restaurant that's kind of set up around that, and so all the money that's made from the dinners that people have in the week and whatnot goes to them being able to sell their chicken for a much cheaper price for kids after school for like £1 or £2. So we're linking up with them on the Saturday, which is the last Saturday of this month, the month of June, and having like a pop-up with them, and all the money that's raised hopefully will go to the cooking school, like half of it. So yeah, that's what we're doing this time. So the kids will be in the kitchen there learning how to be part of that, and figuring out what it's like to work in a professional kitchen by some people who can actually cook, and not just me and a few friends.
That just brought back memories then. Like what were like school dinners like when you were at school? I mean, they I don't know how the kind of like standard that kind of stuff is now, but like it was certainly not great when I was studying.
It was mad. Yeah, I went at first. I had a good thing going with one of my dinner ladies, because I was vegetarian when I was younger, like pescatarian, and so she used to get me. So I'd roll in, and she always had something up her sleeve for me. I'd be rolling in the queue, and she'd see me coming and like tap me and be like, "Yo, I've got this for you." So she used to hook me up with like little secret bits. So I was actually alright at primary school, and then tell you what, actually I was lucky enough. I didn't think I'd be able to afford it, but I got a scholarship to private school in Croydon, which was good. It was a bit weird. Private schools are a bit odd, but it was good. I got like a good ground in there. Like I learned a lot, but the food there was insane, and because I wasn't paying for it, it felt like it just tasted that much better.
Yeah, it always does, doesn't it? Nothing like a free dinner.
Yeah. Tell me about sat around those people that were spending loads on it, and I was just there like just tucking in. But yeah, no, the food there was cool. But I mean, that's something I'm interested in though, man, because I think that's the whole reason we're linking up with the kids, the guys at Chicken Town, is we're looking at deeper the whole idea of the school, and what we're going to do at the end of the year is we're looking into what it is, what foods are, what effect they have on kids, especially kids with ADHD, and not so much trying to make food healthy food, because I know it's very easy to go to kids, oh yeah, look, you've got to eat better food, but if it's food they don't want to eat, it's not exciting for them. So it's about trying to get the food that they want to eat, like chicken and chips, and just making it a bit better for them, so they still want to have the same thing. They can still have the same thing, it's just it's not as crippling to them mentally, physically,
In terms of your style of cooking and what you make in the kitchen, do you collect recipes, or are you a bit more off the top of your head style chef?
I am off the top of my head, but basically I've watched almost every cooking program known to man.
What's your favourite?
Maybe anything from Rick Stein.
Rick Stein's
big fan of Rick Stein, man.
I watched Rick Stein in Iceland recently. That was really good.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
He was serving up whale. He was serving.
No way.
Because they eat quite a lot of that stuff up there. Apparently it's quite a sort of distinct,
very
kind of harsh
super
tasting
fatty.
thing. Yeah. But he's good.
No, he's the man. I think I don't know why he's got a big love for Australia as well, and I've got a big love for Australia only because I've just been there. But it was like when I went there, I felt like I was coming home, for the first time. But there's something about him, man, and I love that he uses so much salt. I think that's my favorite thing about him is that he just doesn't care how much salt he puts into things. He's got like an old man's tongue. But him for sure, and this series called Chef's Table, because basically the premise of it is every episode you should really watch it. Every episode is a different chef, and they kind of take you through their world and what they're trying to do. And there's some amazing chefs. A guy called Massimo Bottura, who's like the first guy who's Italian chef who like flipped Italian cooking on its head. But they're quite humble. It's not the kind of in the most part, it's not the stuff you expect from TV chefs. It's all about ego and mass producing things. They're all quite quaint little small restaurants, and I think that is the appeal of it. Is it's not something that is multi-million making. It's just to do it for the love of it.
It sounds like this is kind of such a major passion in your life. Will this be the second proper time you've run the program?
It's the second. Yeah.
So, but it sounds like you can imagine yourself developing in it and kind of building it sort of every year at least, if not more regularly. Is that how you see it going?
Definitely, man. I mean, it's a time thing, because I'm still working on a lot of music and still playing a lot of shows. But it's just nice to have something else to do as well. I think I'd go mad if I was just always playing shows or always making music, and it gives me time to. I don't know, it gives me, when I get a break from making tunes, it makes me want to go back to make them. As it does when I'm making music, it makes me want to go back and cook something else. But yeah, my hope is for it just to continue to grow. I want to get it to the point where we don't have to turn kids away. Do you know what I mean? Because at the moment, because the timing is so tight, we're only able to do it with the same kids we did it with last year, which is brilliant for them. But I want to be able to open the doors to more kids and get younger kids, so that the kids that we've been teaching can then start imparting their wisdom down to, pass down to another generation of kids. So yeah, man, if it can keep growing alongside the music and alongside myself, I would love that. That's the dream.
Is the added bonus of being able to book shows in places like as far flung even this year as Japan, Australia, Mexico? Like, do you deliberately try and go out and sample the local cuisine when you're there?
As much as I can. I think that's why I'm getting kind of fat, because that is genuinely what I do. We were in Mexico earlier on this year for something top secret, and I tried. I ate crickets, cricket tacos, and so the idea of it is basically out there. Crickets are the only thing that they can responsibly source. So as a source of protein in a hot country, something that is abundant is crickets, and they are so cheap and easy to breed and then to harvest. And it's not. I know they just see it as a lot more environmentally friendly than breeding loads of cows and killing them all or whatnot. Because these are pests, like genuine pests that eat all the crops. And so you grow them up, you harvest them all before they can eat all the crops, and you get more vegetables and more protein. Right. So we tried them.
Is it like in a taco?
Yeah. It's banging. It's like, it shouldn't be banging. So we got a plate of them. It's like just a big mound of crickets. It sounds so nasty. Got a big mound of crickets, and then next to it there's like guacamole, some hard cheese like paneer cheese or something, and then some other sauce that's super hot. And you put it together. And I was loving it until like the last one, and I thought about what I was eating, and then I couldn't eat it anymore.
At least you got to the last one. What did you enjoy so much about Australia? Did you try any kangaroo steak there or anything like that?
Sadly, I did, man.
And?
Yeah,
Not good?
No, it was good. It was good, but no, just everyone I've spoken to about it has been furious. And I'm kind of furious with myself. Yeah, just because kangaroos are such beautiful animals. But my thing is, if you're going to eat one animal, you got to eat all the animals. Do you know what I mean? You can't pick. You can't pick an animal and go, this one's kind of ugly, so I'm going to eat this one. But the ones that are cute or attractive, I'm not going to eat. That's been my basis of it.
You're going to be eating baby pandas before
no babies. That's what I do. I don't. Yeah, actually, I don't. I had a long conversation with my mum and my brother about it recently, and I've kind of come to the conclusion that I don't want to eat young animals, so like lamb or veal or whatnot, because I just think it's so unnecessary. So I eat animals. I kind of
the old ones.
Yeah, just the old ones. I mean, the ones that have had a good time. I mean, the ones that are kind of like, my time's up. Want to eat me?
Yeah.
But
so
no.
Like Australia out there.
Australia out there. No, my favourite. I guess the thing about it is it's like London but hot, and the people are friendly and they have the same kind of humour as us. But it's the people are just a bit friendlier, and where we are was beautiful, and the wildlife is beautiful, and there's a real relaxed approach to life out there. And I don't know. I mean, I guess we were kind of rolling through it, looking through rose tinted glasses, because we were playing these sold out shows and going to festivals and whatnot and getting looked after. But even when we had days off and we would just roll around the city and whatnot, everything just feels so easy. And it's the same thing. It's interesting. I was talking to a friend about it because it's kind of the same as how I feel about Germany, because I really like Germany, and it seems like all the places that I I've kind of felt closer to are the places that have quite difficult pasts. Do you know what I mean? And especially kind of potentially racist pasts, or or kind of political pasts that aren't kind of in line with my beliefs. But I think that it forces the latest generations to I don't know, they kind of have something, not something to prove, but they have something that they're trying to shake off, which means that they are outwardly more accepting, more friendly, a little bit more left thinking. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what the appeal of Australia was, just like the appeal of Germany was. Don't get me wrong, everywhere, especially here, London has a long way to come, but it's exciting to see the new generation of people like myself being a bit more, with their arms open and not just going, no, we don't want that. Kind of shunning, kind of shedding the skin of their past.
I mean, on that subject, this people might not hear this for a little while yet, but we're recording this a few days after the general election, and by all accounts, there was a kind of quite high turnout from the the bracket, the age group of people like 18 to 24s, higher than previous years. From your point of view, I mean, I'm presuming you're totally pro that, the fact that it sounds like lots of people got out there and kind of exercised their right to vote. Massively,
it's just it's an exciting thing, man. I mean, just people gaining an understanding. I think a lot of people from kind of people who music I've listened to for a long time, especially a lot of the guy artists like Jeremy, etc., who were reaching out. People who had a youthful influence were reaching out and kind of not saying vote for this or believe in this, but just opening the debate and opening the conversation. I think it's important, man. It's nice when my little brother and his friends are talking about politics, and not in a way where it's that politically charged arguments and whatnot, but they're just interested in making the change in it. And I think that's the thing that's exciting now, is that people are realising that it's not just Conservatives, Labour. That's what politics is. Politics is literally just anything, It's the whole conversation of you wanting to make an impact positively on other people's lives. It's exciting. I mean, obviously, voted Labour. Fuck Theresa May. That's where I'm at.
Well, we don't. I guess, Well, I mean, it's we're in a moment where we don't necessarily know what the imminent kind of future looks like, because it's kind of thrown everything into turmoil completely. Again.
But what is exciting, actually, before I guess we change over, I know it's foolish to say, just fuck Theresa May and whatnot, but what is exciting is the idea of, as much as, who knows what will happen this time, and if, Labour don't get into power, or, Jeremy Corbyn doesn't get a chance to make any sort of change this time round, what is evident is that we're moving in the right direction. Is that there are more people who it will affect the most are standing up and going, count me. And it's happened for me, because I've never really been that political myself. I'm talking right now, I sound like I am, but that's just because of how it's been moving the last couple of months. I've always been very disinterested in it, and I'm embarrassed to say so, but it's just because it never really appealed to me, because every time I've ever had a conversation with anyone about it was always going down the wrong avenues. It was kind of almost like people were trying to convince me that it was boring, or that I had nothing to do with it, or it wouldn't affect me. And as soon as you start having conversations where you realise the effect it is going to have on you, it pushes you further.
Do you think the actions of people like JME, do you think that there was a positive outcome from basically people that are perhaps a little bit more relatable, especially the younger generation? We're talking about it, and therefore just engaged people. That was a key thing.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so. I mean, definitely people. It's nice to see. I know for my little brother, even people who can't vote, I think that's important. Is getting the conversation started before you're just slap bang in front of a like a little tick box, and you've got to pick someone. I think to be talking about it when you're 16, 17, and understanding what it is. So by the time it comes for you to make a decision, you're a bit more clued up. It's definitely a positive thing, and I think that's what's so important. Is you can't just come to it and go, I'm 18, and go, oh fuck, I've got to vote. Who am I going to vote for? I don't know anything about it. But to go, I remember last year when this was happening, I saw bits and bobs about this. But I think social media as a whole has a big role to play in it now, because people, newspapers and whatnot don't have as much control as what they can give you, because if you don't get it in the news, you'll just get it on your phone. Because Twitter, that was interesting. I was listening to something on the radio. I went to IKEA with my mum yesterday. I had a great time.
Do you like IKEA?
Yeah, I love IKEA, man.
Oh, this is very strange. Literally last night I was having a conversation with a mate.
Yeah.
And I know two really close friends who absolutely love IKEA.
Yeah.
And they'll make it into almost like a day trip. If
Yeah,
they go
yeah,
there.
yeah.
They'll go
Yeah.
to the cafe.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, you know...
Twice if you're lucky. One for breakfast, one for lunch.
Depends how long you're staying in there. I took my wife there recently and we had dinner in there, and it was like a Tuesday night. It was like the hottest day of the year, and she was like, you take me to all the nice places. And I was like, are you telling me this food isn't good?
True gent. And it's cheap.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's, you can hang out, go for a drink afterwards.
16 quid.
It's
Dessert and
insanity. Yeah, everything. Literally everything. Meatballs, veggie meatballs, salmon, whatever you want.
Yeah.
And it's my favourite place. I don't know what it is about it, man. But to be fair, it's because I go with my mum.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of play that man of the house where I don't play. I know. I'm surprised you went and didn't have like a domestic, because that's all I hear about from friends of mine is you go with your missus and oh fuck. Spilled my water all over the floor just in case anyone was wondering what that noise was.
Don't worry, man. I've got a. Do you need a?
It'd be alright for now. I mean, sure. if you're cool with being there.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's fine, mate.
But all I witness, all my friends say is they just like, I've had friends who've broken up at IKEA. I know people who've broken up at IKEA just because it just gets too much. Because it's a big deal, I guess, you know, going there because I don't know.
And I think it's usually as well because people are trying to make like contentious decisions about what they put in the house. Yeah. It's always like it's a dangerous place to go.
True.
I think
It's true. Then you might realise, you know, that you like that chandelier, she doesn't like that chandelier, and then you're like, are you even meant for each other? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny how quickly you get to that point. What did you get anything good from IKEA?
Yeah, I did. I got I didn't. I got such boring stuff, man. I got like a little rug for my bathroom in front of my sink. I got a
wardrobe last time I went.
You got a wardrobe, wicked. I got a mattress. Tell you what I did get is I got a roll up mattress for my little brother because we're moving a few of the rooms around. We've got like a few of my baby cousins coming over from New Jersey, and it's the first time she's coming over on her own. She's like 16.
Okay.
She's not so much a baby anymore, but she's coming over and there's no room for her, so we're building this room up for her. And then also there's like something else we've got to use the room for in the future, so it's kind of like a double meaning, double reason to get it done. But there's no mattress in the room, so we had to go get a mattress yesterday. And I literally got back through the door from we was at Park Life, came back from Manchester at like 5 o'clock, walked in the door, and Mum was like, "We need to get a mattress." I was like, "Yeah, no worries." Put my bags down and headed straight back out again. Picked up like a double mattress, but it's wicked because they fold them up. So they have these little mattresses that you roll up and you can carry them home like a big duffel bag. Put it on the bed and it just unravels.
Genius. And you're like, I was waiting. Imagine this is going to be a right pain to get together, and then suddenly it just unfolds.
Yeah. Literally, apparently you're supposed to leave it for 72 hours before you can sleep on it.
Okay.
But fuck that.
Yeah, unreal. The thing that I normally do when I go to IKEA, which I've done at least twice, is buy, say, for example, a big set of shelves, got it back to the car, and then realise I can't shut the boot.
Yeah.
That's
nightmare.
an IKEA classic.
Yeah, then you got one of those weird guys out the back going, "Yo, taxi, do you want me to drive you?" No, I don't need that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is like, sucks. I've done that many a time, man.
It sounds like you can be playing to thousands of people at a festival one day, and then when you get home, it still sounds like home life is still completely the same in a lot of the ways. Is that true?
Ain't nothing changed. Yeah, literally, man. I was thinking about it yesterday while I was in IKEA. Yeah, we went to IKEA, then we had to go to Costco. Yeah, like, complete. But I think that's the thing about it is just because I'm not the boss at home. You know, I like when I roll around now, I'm kind of trying to get used to being the boss. But when I get home, I'm not in charge. Do you know what I mean? I'm very much told what to do at all times, which I think is how it's supposed to be. All I have to do is pay the mortgage and tidy the garden. That's what I have to do. I don't get to make any decisions, any executive decisions.
Yeah, those are the two big jobs.
Yeah.
In terms of stuff that you've got kind of planned coming up then, and we've already talked about what you're going to do with the cooking school, and that sounds really exciting. Later in the year, you are going to be playing Brixton Academy, and it just so happens to be falling on your birthday.
Yeah,
right?
it does.
That's going to be a big night, isn't it?
Yeah. It was actually an accident. No one knew that it was on my birthday.
Okay.
So the offer came through. We were looking for available dates, and we turned one down just because it was at the wrong time. We weren't free for it. And then we're like, "What about the 6th of October?" And everyone, booking agent, we're like, "Yeah, it sounds sick." I had no idea it was my birthday, and so we confirmed it, and then let everyone know afterwards. So yeah, it's going to be ridiculous. But I've had a show on my birthday for the last 3 years, not through choice, just because that's how the tours have fallen. But this will be the first time I played in London. I mean, it's in Brixton. I mean, I spent a lot of my childhood in Brixton, and it's opposite, basically opposite Brixton Market, which is where I used to go with my grandma on a Saturday. So
it's kind of like a birthday rolled into like a homecoming.
Yeah, it's a proper homecoming, man, because we never get to play shows in London, in South London. When you play shows in London these days, it's because all the fancy venues are all all the venues that are small enough to fit, the small amount of people who want to come to my shows was usually.
Too humble,
but now we're playing one that's like a decent size, and it's like literally slap bang. It's crazy. I just wish my gran and granddad could have been there, because they would have gone crazy for it, because it's like on their doorstep.
Yeah.
But it's cool, man. I'll be there in spirit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I presume that night will be a bit like the shows you played at Shepherd's Bush earlier in the year. It will feel very kind of homely, because you have friends and family there, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
And what's it like playing a show on your birthday then, having done it 3 times in a row? Is
it
a good way
dangerous?
to celebrate?
Yeah, it is. No, it is definitely, because it gives you something to do. Because I mean, I've never been really one for celebrating my birthday.
Okay.
I don't really throw parties. I like to go out for dinner or something, but I've never been one for throwing parties. And so it's nice because the party gets thrown for you. I mean, it's nice. It's weird because in my house, I don't know, these days my family is so small that there's not really that many people around. So when you do stuff like that, it's almost like being surrounded by loads of family. Do you know what I mean? So it's special. But yeah, we've got to just be well behaved, because we've got a show the day before and the day after. So I don't. Yeah, I know. But it's right. I'll just bookend it, wait until the very end, and then just treat the last day of tour like double birthday.
Yeah, it'll be a few pints of Guinness.
Yeah. There is. The trouble is, everyone keeps buying me Alizé, man, for my birthday at shows, and Alizé is really sweet and really it's good. Do you know what I mean? I drink it, but yeah, Guinness is. If anyone's listening to this and they want to wonder what to buy me for my birthday, just give me a keg of Guinness.
My dad used to work for Guinness.
Yeah,
I can probably maybe help.
You know what? I know there's a thing about you have to be like 25 or over to advertise alcohol. I've been told, but.
We're breaking the rules.
Joe, if Guinness are listening, be great.
Another thing I was going to ask you about was earlier this year, Six Music invited you onto the radio show.
Back
in the spring, and I listened, and it sounded like a lot of fun. And it sounded like you really got into it as well. Is that something you'd like to do again?
I would love to, man. I definitely would love. It's weird. It's funny because a lot of people used to say, they still say that I look like Craig Charles, or that I'm like a young version of Craig Charles. And I don't really used to see it, but he's like the voice of my childhood, and I've chatted to him on an odd occasion, and I would love nothing more than to follow in Craig Charles' footsteps, because rap's a young man's game. At some point I'm gonna have to do some stuff where I can just sit down, and I would love to be able to do it. No, it was a lot of fun. It was nice. I was kind of worried how people would. I don't know really what my taste in music is like, so it was refreshing for people to be into it and to lock in. I'm hoping to do another one at some point soon, but if I could get a regular slot, that'd be nice. Six Music.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Guinness, Six Music, are you listening?
Yeah, that's all I really need. If I get the Guinness and the Six Music hookup, and maybe a Waitrose hookup as well, just for like day-to-day stuff. That's me, golden.
Better quality of ingredients.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? Better quality, it'd be easy for my mum.
Yeah.
I'm working on the Waitrose hookup. Slowly. I'm cool with a few guys. One of the guys who's in like the bread aisle. Yeah. Me and him are quite tight, so I'm gonna see what I got him tickets for I hooked him up with 2 guesses for the Brixton show. So I'm hoping in return he gives. I can't even say. I can't even hot him because I want to get him fired. But yeah.
This feels like we've kind of like jumped all over the place with the conversation a bit. But I was just going to ask. You did the. You're obviously a massive football fan.
Yeah,
and you
humongous.
got to do the kind of pre-match big hype, brilliant advert that I think it was BT made for the Champions League final.
Yeah, I did.
You really did. You did a real kind of good job of telling
Thank
the
you
story
very
of
much.
the season.
Thank you.
But did you get to go to the game?
No, we had a show. We had a show and we were playing at field day. I watched it in the pub, and was the only guy in there in a Juventus shirt actually, which is really embarrassing. But yeah, no, it was ridiculous, man. It was a special one. It was a lot of hard work. Those things I usually turn down, just because I know how difficult they can be, and I know kind of how many hoops you have to jump through. But for that, it was just like I couldn't pass up. My dad would have been, if my dad was still alive, he'd have gone crazy for it, man. It was like I had to do. And I worked. So when we were away in Australia, we were away for like 3 weeks, and I worked on it every day.
I was going to say, so I mean, if people haven't seen this, basically, and if you're not a football fan and don't watch like football regularly, Champions League final is effectively the crescendo of the season, the biggest game of the season, like for like club football, and the pre-match kind of hype around it is always kind of so much part of the experience. If anybody's watched like FA Cup final day or anything like that, it's always like one of the best bits when you see the sort of montage put together before the game that basically gets you hyped up. And you scripted the story of the season and put together a kind of like filmed piece before the game went out.
Yeah.
So did they just kind of leave you to it? Did they say, we want you to cover the big stories of like the British clubs in the past season? Like, how did you do it?
It's mad. But it's strange. They kind of, at first left me to my own devices.
Okay.
And then when I gave them what I gave them, they were like, I think you've done too much. So I asked for, they were just like, we need you to write. So they gave me like kind of bullet points on all the things they wanted me to hit. And then I was like, that's kind of not enough. I need all the highlights. So I had the entire highlights of the entire Champions League. And
So
I
you
watched them. I watched them over and over and over. So yeah, I watched them. I know this season's Champions League. I know inside out. Anything, any player, any tackle, any red card, any penalty, everything I know.
What you need to do now is
go on mastermind.
Yes, exactly. You could win it, or go to the local pub quiz.
Yeah, and just shut it down. But yeah, no, I did. But because it was cool because we were flying so much, and Australia is such a big place, and the flight to Australia was like a day. So I watched the whole Champions League from the group stages to the final in that day. And then just over and over again, every time I got back to the hotel after a show, I was watching it, writing a bit, waking up, writing a bit. Yeah, it was I was living and breathing, which for me, it's like a dream job.
Yeah, although I must admit, like, this summer is one of those summers that I don't enjoy, where there's not
nothing.
A World Cup, there's not the Euros, the Olympics aren't on. I hate those.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, no sport. England are playing France tonight, because I suppose I've got football on tonight. I was going to go play football in Shoreditch, but I can't now because England are playing. So
yeah, you've got to watch the game.
And just continue to get fat, I guess.
Final question is about music, which we haven't really talked about, but
it doesn't
really matter.
Shit, of course. Forgot.
Yesterday's Gone, the album has gone down really, really well, and I think it feels like the kind of album that people listen to and then pass on to their mate to listen to, which I think is always a good sign. You get a little bit of time in between playing all these shows, you're going to be playing a lot more for the rest of the year, but when you get home, when you get a moment, have you started writing more material? Do you still get a chance to sort of write as you go? Because you're in a very different circumstance now, aren't you?
Yeah, I do. I think it's just about finding the space for it, because it's still there, it still bubbles up. It's more about giving myself the time to sit down and just jot it out. But yeah, definitely, I never really stopped. Even once we finished the album, I didn't stop writing. I just kind of had finished that chapter or that book. Do you know what I mean? So that's done, and that's been put to the side now. And we're starting more stuff. I've been spending a lot of time with Tom Misch recently, which is cool. So we're still cooking up some stuff. I'm getting back in the studio with Rebel Clef, who's like my best friend, long time collaborator. Yeah, man, it's slow to get back. I'm kind of looking forward to the time when I get a little bit more time off, so that I can write again. But equally, this is the time. I think this is the time to write when you're busy. Do you know what I mean? When I'm sitting around doing nothing, there's nothing to write about. Right now, there's so much stuff to write about, and it's just up to me to take 5 minutes out of my day and just sit down and jot down how I feel, and then go back to it and revisit it when I get time.
Midnight Chats is a Loud and Quiet podcast. Production by Emma Snook. Music courtesy of Gold Panda. Search Midnight Chats on iTunes for more episodes and to subscribe. For more information, visit loudandquiet.com.